and giving me opportunity to speak on something on the holy name. I'm not very expert in chanting as Prabhuji is, but Prabhuji is ordered, so I would like to speak and share something. So this is from the Nectarian Ocean of the Holy Name. This book I'm referring to. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he tells the story that once there was a marriage party and they were supposed to cross a river to attend the marriage. So in the evening they assembled and took a boat to cross the river, and whole night the boatman was sailing, and what they found, it became morning and boat was lying there only on the shore where they took it. So they realized that the anchor was not removed. So similarly, we are chanting and we put all efforts in chanting every day, 2 hours at least. And sometimes we see that we are at the same place where we started, maybe 10 years back, something like that. So what is that anchor, that hook, which keeps us on the same shore? So that we will discuss today. So first, let's have small prayers. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमामि विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौर वाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे. So this anchor I was talking about, what is that hook which keeps us at the same shore where we started our sailing? So this is quoted in Amnaya Sutra. Amnaya Sutra, there is one scripture. So just like holy name is compared to a sun, just like Krishna is sun, Surya. Krishna Surya Sam, Maya hai andhakar. Jahan Krishna nahi, taha Maya ratikar. The holy name is like a brilliant, bright sun. But what is happening? The cloud of anarthas, they are covering our vision to the sun. We cannot access completely the sun. Sometimes there is a small gap in the clouds, then we get some of the rays. So sometimes our chanting little bit get better, but again anarthas come over. So what are those anarthas which covers us, our vision, to access the holy name? So that has been very nicely described in this Amnaya Sutra. So there are 4 anarthas which are very nicely described. First is defects of the heart. So defect of the heart, it is called Hridaya Daurbalyam. Hridaya Daurbalya. Generally, we think Hridaya Daurbalyam is some kind of weakness in terms of not able to speak in public like that. But here, very nicely described that it has 4 subcategories. Defect of the heart has 4 subcategories. The first subcategory is attachment to the objects which have no relationship to Krishna. So if we are attached to something which have no relationship to Krishna, it binds us in this world, and very difficult to call out the holy name, because we are attached to that object. Means we have other shelter than Krishna. Then why we'll call the holy name? The first thing. Second is the propensity to cheat and to find fault. Cheating and fault finding. This is second weakness of the heart. Third is envy, irsha. And fourth is the desire for recognition. So if we clearly analyze these things, this means that we are dependent on these things: attachment to objects, cheating and fault finding, envy, and desire for recognition. Just like a person, if he's sick, he's bedridden, and he has been put oxygen mask. Then if somebody tries to take away, snatch that oxygen mask, then he will protest. He thinks that I can't survive without this oxygen mask because he's sick. But a healthy person, he is taking oxygen directly from the environment. So he doesn't need this kind of artificial arrangement. So those who are having weak heartedness, those who don't have full faith in the Lord, so they go for these things. That represents the weakness of the heart. A healthy person can, he doesn't need any recognition, he doesn't need to be attached to anything. So similarly, 1 minute. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this is the Hridaya Daurbalyam, weakness of the heart, if one is attached to these things. So this is one kind of a hook. This is one kind of hook which holds us in the chanting at the same place. Second hook is offenses, aparadhas. So it has four further categories, also aparadhas. So there are four kinds of aparadhas. First is offense against the holy name. Just 1 minute, Prabhuji. Somebody is calling, replying, otherwise he will call. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So aparadhas, the first aparadh is holy name, against the holy name. Every day we chant, we recite 10 offenses. So that those are the offenses against the holy name. And then comes offenses against the form of the Lord. It can be seva aparadhas, like we go for deity worship, and in deity worship, sometimes we become very careless in dealing with the Lord. And while serving, offering bhoga, cleaning temple, and following the process, we sometimes become very casual. Then that leads to offenses against the form of the Lord, and also it includes the uh, this Mayavadi's interpretation of the form of the Lord. They also say that Lord's form is in Maya. Or sometimes we also end up in that kind of dealing with the Lord's deities, not very personal dealing. So that also comes into uh, offense against the form of the Lord. And third comes in this category, aparadhas, offenses against the devotees of the Lord. So we might have heard 8 kinds of offenses against the devotees of the six kind of. I've also written the shloka here. So it mentions like this: Hanti nindanti vai dveshti vaishnava na abhinandati krudyate yati no harsam darsane padatani shat. Sat. Six kind of offenses against the Vaishnavas specifically. Hanti means to kill a Vaishnava. Nindati, to criticize a Vaishnava. Dveshti, to envy Vaishnava. Na abhinandati, and not giving proper respect as per his adhikar. As sannyasi, we should pay full obeisances, and those who are initiated, we should pay obeisances, and those who chant the holy name, we should at least uh, greet them by Hare Krishna at least. So this not giving proper respect to a Vaishnava is also Vaishnava Prad. Krudhate, being angry on them, unnecessary, and Yati no harsam, or not being happy by seeing the Vaishnava is also comes under Vaishnava Parad. So these also becomes obstacle in our chanting the holy name. And then comes offenses against other living entities. So these things sometimes we become little casual in these things. So other living entities, like we see in case of Dhruva Maharaj, like his stepmother, right? Suruchi. She offended Dhruva Maharaj when he was not a devotee, but later on he became devotee, and that offense was counted, and she was burned into forest. And also Uttam, his son, was also killed with the fight with Yacha. So these offenses, which was against the normal humanity, Dhruva Maharaj, but it came converted into offense against a Vaishnava later on. So it's called Jiva Aparad. So this also counts into clouds, which covers our vision and our approach to the holy name. And next comes third category of offenses. Third category, that is thirst for material objects. This the third kind of anartha, thirst for material objects. It's called Asat Trishna. So Srila Prabhupada said that we should call out the holy name just like a baby calls for his mother. But if we have thirst for material object, then how we can call for Krishna? We should have thirst for the holy name. We should have thirst for the Krishna. But if we have thirst for material object, then it's very difficult to call out the holy name with feelings. As Kunti Maharani says that the person who is very rich or born in a high parentage family or have lot of education and beauty, then that person cannot feelingly call out the Lord. He may call out, but he may not call out feelingly. Akinchana, you know. So those who have Asat Krishna, they have been categorized into these things are categorized into four subcategory. Desire for delightful sense objects. Delightful sense object means bhukti, bhukti in this world, mm, running for sense enjoyment. And second comes desires for sense enjoyment at as available on the heavenly planets. So people do karam kand and other process for going into heavens. They are not satisfied with enjoyment in this world, so they want some higher kind of enjoyment through karam kand Veda, section of the Vedas. Yamima puspitam vacham, flowery words of the Vedas. They get attracted to that thing and want to go into heaven and enjoy. And third comes desire for obtaining mystic powers. Yogis, they want mystic power. They want to control things. Many times, like scientists, they are also trying to control things, going against the nature. And we also sometimes some other like to control things. This is our nature. Mm. And then comes desire to be liberated by merging into a person. Mukti, that especially Sayuj Mukti. So these are asat trishna. These are thirst for material things. All these. So if we have thirst for material thing, so we can't develop the thirst for the holy name. So this is also another hook, which binds us and not let us chant the holy name properly. And then fourth category of anartha is illusion about spiritual knowledge. Tattva vibhrama. So if we are confused about the tattvas, then just like a confused person cannot drive his vehicle very fast because he's confused. He has to first of all find out uh, a proper route where he has to go. Then he will drive it at the best capacity. So the person who is in Tattva Vibhrama, he will not able to chant properly. So in this category comes first illusion about one's own identity. We we sometimes or most of the time we don't recognize that we are soul, not his body. So if somebody uh, disrespects to our ego get hurt, it means we are identifying with our ego. If our mind get disturbed too much, it means we are identifying ourselves with the mind. If we are get affected with the winter and summer, you know, and based on that our bhakti runs. In winter we reduce the rounds or we try to wake up late in the morning. So if we are getting affected by external things, seasons, means we are identifying ourselves with the body. So these identification also leads us to compromised chanting. And then comes ignorance about the position of the supreme lord. भगवान के स्थिति के बारे में ignorance. What is exactly position of Krishna? Just like if somebody is fully conscious that if we are chanting the holy name, that is non-different from Krishna, and Krishna is personally present, so he can't be distracted. So it means we are not fully aware of position of Krishna. That Krishna is present in front of us. If some some big personality come at our home, we are very attentive in serving, attending them. It means we are not attentive in serving Krishna. Means that we haven't understood the position of Supreme Lord. Third subcategory is ignorance about the process of sadhana bhakti and prema bhakti. So process, there confusion in process. How to do a particular thing, what is proper mood and method, both. So we are not aware of, uh, or we have read but not understood it properly. So this is about ignorance about the process and sadhana of sadhana bhakti and prema bhakti. And fourth is ignorance about the factors which are unfavorable for bhakti. Not only the right knowledge, not about only what is right knowledge, even to know that what is not good for bhakti should also be known. Just like in scripture it is said that we should not only know the vidya, we should also know the avidya also, so that we can clearly differentiate. So this thing also should be known, what is unfavorable for bhakti. Like Srila Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Instruction, Atyahar prayasasya prajalpo niyamagra janasangasya laulyam cha chadbir bhakti vinasati. These things should also be known. So if we are aware of these four kind of anarthas, defect of the heart, hridaya daurbalyam, offenses, aparadha, and thirst for material object, asat krishna, and illusion about spiritual knowledge, tattva vibhrama, then these are the hooks. And then comes question how to remove these hooks so that our boat may start sailing towards the goal, and the goal is Krishna Prem. So we should understand that holy name is always powerful. Just like sun is there, it is sun as it is not affected. It's we who are affected by coming into contact with these anarthas. So to overcome these anarthas, we require transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge. And in all the scriptures, we find three kinds of transcendental knowledge: Sambandha Gyan, Abhidheya Gyan, and Prayojan Gyan. So, to get this Gyan, we need a spiritual master. So, also there are different categories of spiritual master, just like Sravan Guru. Sravan Guru means from whom we hear, we get an inspiration in our bhakti through hearing. And there is Bhajan Guru, means who not only gives knowledge but also guides practically in our day-to-day bhajan, how to chant, how to read, how to do service in everything. And there is Diksha Guru, who gives initiation and takes our responsibility. So sometimes Diksha Guru plays all three roles. He gives lectures, also knowledge, also guides us, and also gives initiation. But all three are it has been said in scriptures that one should be all three should be on the same level. It's not that Sravan Guru can be compromised. No, he should be also uh, as per scripture Jiva Goswami, he should be liberated, means at the same level. So why I was saying this, because we cannot fully dependent on, sometimes our spiritual masters are very busy in something, so we can take knowledge from other devotees also. It's not that we should be dependent only on him. We should be having our service responsibility to a spiritual master, and also if he's instructing, that factor also includes in that. But we can take knowledge from other devotees who are practicing very nicely. So these knowledge must be acquired through spiritual masters. So we say in Srimad Bhagavatam, so 24 spiritual master, one has accepted. So this is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The spiritual master instructs this faithful disciple in the three following important subjects of spiritual realization. So first is Sambandha Gyan. So Sambandha Gyan means the spiritual position of the living being. Please remind me of the time if there is time. I was focusing on speaking. So Sambandha Gyan means spiritual position of the living being. And second is the spiritual position of the Supreme Lord. भगवान का पोजीशन, जीव का पोजीशन, एंड द पोजीशन ऑफ मटेरियल वर्ल्ड. इनका आपस में इंटर रिलेशन क्या है? नहीं, that has to be understood very nicely, thoroughly. And then comes abhidheya, process of practice. So it is said that when the holy name is chanted with a strong foundation of spiritual knowledge, means sambandh gyan, and good spiritual practice, abhidheya, it will reveal more and more of its power. Knowledge is good, but knowledge should come into practice. That is abhidheya. most of the time we hear about the glories of the holy name from scriptures and from devotees, but process how to do it very nicely, that need to be focused also. Mm. So I think last class when I was giving, then I discussed that process, sitting properly and speaking clearly, hearing attentively, and like that. So that should also be practiced. That should also be learned how to do chanting, in the proper way. And then comes prayojan. Prayojan means focusing on the goal. Uh, when we come to temple or when we learn chanting and anything new, then we are very focused on the goal. And gradually, what happens? We lose the track because of many other allurements, many other distractions, many other priorities. But in spiritual life, if we are very much clear about the prayojan, every day we chant, na, Krishna Prem, goal of life is Krishna Prem. But in our day-to-day activity, if we see, uh, so most of the time we forget that we are doing things for Krishna Prem. So if we are very focused on the goal, then it's very easy to follow the process. Just like Vaishnav Maharaj said, once he was sharing, saying that uh, you are very tired, you have traveled from a very long distance, you didn't get the seat in the train, and you didn't get prasad in the train, and you are completely exhausted, and you come to temple, and you are just planning to go to sleep, and somebody comes and says, Prabhu, here is 10,000 gold coins, you know, and if you chant 16 round very attentively, you will get this 10,000 gold coins. He keeps in front of you. Then Maharaj is saying that everybody will chant very nicely, they will not even doge even once, because there is clear goal is visible. We are going to get 10,000 gold coins. It may not be applicable to advanced devotees, but just an example. So because goal is clear that we are going to get this thing at the end of my chanting, so we are very attentive in chanting. Even we are so much tired, but even one chants with full focus. So why we distract, why we become slack and in chanting, this can be also one of the thing, that we are not focused on the goal. So guru, sadhu, shastra are there to give us all three knowledge. So that's why those who are chanting or doing sankirtan, it's very important at the same time that we should not uh, forget to read and hear. This sometimes this is tendency that I have given vow to my spiritual master to chant 16 round of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but not the vow for reading and hearing. So we try to tend to neglect those things. But if we see in the life of Srila Haridas Thakur, so he was chanting 192 rounds, but he was also speaking on the holy name. There are many incidents in assembly of this Hiranya Majumdar, Gordhan Majumdar. He spoke where a Brahmana challenged Haridas Thakur about holy name. So he was fully thorough in this knowledge, which is knowledge of scriptures. We find Harinam Chintamani is also compilation of his talk to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a lot of discussion about the holy name. So Haridas Thakur was fully aware of the Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan. That's why he was very much focused in chanting. So this aspect is very, very important to read and hear from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. All three we should refer to and gain knowledge about the holy name. And through this knowledge only, we can scatter the cloud of anarthas. And then we can access the beaming sun of the holy name. So this is the approach has been mentioned to overcome these anarthas by transcendental knowledge. Okay, I will stop here. Anybody has any question? We have 4 minutes left. So any question we can take.
Thank you very much, Veda Chaitanya Prabhuji. As always, very systematic in his approach. He gives important points for us to focus on so that we can gradually improve our spiritual life, advance in our spiritual life, and attain the purpose, the goal. So Prabhuji very systematically presented what are the 4 anarthas which are kind of bottlenecks holding us back from tasting the nectar of holy name. So thank you very much, Roji. I just want to open the floor for any comments or any questions they have. Roji, you highlighted one thing, defects of heart, and then you shared that there are 4 defects, and you said what is you kind of summarized the definition of defects of heart. What was that?
Okay, defects of heart, I was summarizing, Prabhuji, like depending on something material. Means, see, if we have a strong heart, then we will not expect anything from this material world. So strong-hearted person means those who are not dependent on anything except Krishna. So they are strong-hearted. Sometimes one may be physically very strong, but if he is asked that please go and preach to this place, so he will not be able to go because his heart is attached to so many family and things and other things. So weakness of heart means not able to trust on Krishna's instruction and depending on these things. So that's why I give example of that patient who is depending on the oxygen mask, is not depending on the natural supply of the air. So this is the weakness of heart. Not able to take risk for Krishna. His heart is not convinced. Yeah. So,
The Shubhalas Prabhu is saying very nice class, especially explaining the hook. And then there's Vidyapati Prabhu kind of shared the entire summary of your lecture here. It is very nice.
it's encouraging devotees are hearing so attentively. So thank you, devotees. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, also for inviting and giving opportunities to speak on something on the holy name. So already I speak very less, just like his Sri Prabhuji. He never gives classes in temple, Dwarka temple. He always schedules his class, but at the end he gives someone else. But we request Prabhuji also through this forum. Devotees request Prabhuji to also share whatever realization he has, so that others can also take advantage. Mm. Thank you, thank you.
I don't have any realization. Kapil Prabhu is also thanking you. Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu, for enlightening us on how to chant consciously and attentively. And there is Ramesh Prabhu, who is from Dwarka only. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dhanvat Pranam. For a neophyte devotee like me, talk is very informative and practical aspects. It's very helpful for me. So devotees have really appreciated your talk, Prabhuji.
Glories of the devotees. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna Vancha Kalparupescha Kripas.
His Grace Veda Chaitanya Prabhuji ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.
Devotees, pray for me. I can develop taste for the holy name. I have given the class, but not much realization. So please pray for me so that I develop some taste for the holy name. That can be the, you can say, reciprocation and feast for the class prayers. Thank you so very much.
Hari bol. Thank you, Lord.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
Dandavat
Pranam.
Pranam.
Hare
Dhanvat Pranam.
Dhanavad Krishna.
Hare Krishna.